I'm Carolyn Butts, the founder of African Voices and Real Sisters. Welcome to our Juneteenth celebration where we're showing Black Girl. I'm so happy you're here. I want to just say a little shout out to the Knicks fans out there. and thanks for coming. I was like, oh, are they going to come or are they going to stay at the parade? Yeah, so we're here celebrating a lot. So just to start, a little history. We showcased this film, Black Girl, back in 2007, the 10th anniversary of Real Sisters. And when I found out that it was restored, I was like, this is almost 20 years ago, and this film is so relevant. And so we're showcasing it again. I want to thank J.E. Franklin for giving that honor. And people who don't know the history, it started out as a play. J.E. Franklin is an award-winning playwright. And we have another really esteemed guest here. We have Bridgett Davis. Give a clap out to her. She has another historic film called Naked Acts. And I would like to say we also showcased it at Real Sisters. And this just shows you the importance of restoring Black films about Black women. Because Naked Acts was restored how many years ago? Just 2 years ago. So let's keep that going. We have to honor our history. We have to preserve it. African Voices magazine itself is in the archives of Spelman College. So that's what we want to do. And without further ado, we're going to show Black Girl and have a great afternoon and evening.
Hello. I'm going to tell them a little bit about you. Dr. J.E. Franklin is an acclaimed playwright and educator whose work has shaped American theater and Black dramatic literature for more than 5 decades. Her groundbreaking work has earned numerous honors, including a New York Drama Desk Award for Black Girl, a Eugene O'Neill Fellowship, a Rockefeller Fellowship, and many, many more awards, too numerous to name. Dr. Franklin has taught at several major institutions, among them Brown University, the University of Iowa, Skidmore College, yes, and Lehman College, which awarded her the Doctor of Letters, recognizing her extraordinary contribution to American letters and dramatic arts. The restored version of Dr. Franklin's landmark film, Black Girl, has been showcased at the New York Film Festival, the Martin Scorsese Sag Harbor Film Fest, the Black Harvest Film Fest in Chicago, and the African Film Festival at BAM. Her current work includes, and I love this, a monthly Sunday series of staged play readings hosted by actress and director Malika Nzinga and presented via Zoom on the last Sunday of each month. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Franklin. It's such an honor to be able to be in conversation with you and to have seen this extraordinary film. There's so much I want to say to you about it. I have to really decide what I want to focus on. There's so much here, right? It's beautiful. I mean, just the fact that you were able to depict so much complexity in Black life and to represent these generations of women in one family and to capture the nuances of what Black folks experience. I thought it was so beautiful, and to think of when you were writing this, you were so, the word for me is brave, to be able to show these flawed characters. And in doing so, I mean, I was watching and listening to the audience, and folks were like, I cannot believe she said that. You know? But we recognized it, right? And that's the thing, it's like, they're not perfect. And that's what Black people have not been allowed to have. We've been flattened. And you gave us wholeness and roundness again. You really showed Black humanity. So thank you so much for that. Thank you. So I'm just so curious, could you talk to us about the origins of Black Girl and when you actually created this play? What was your inspiration? What were you drawing on or drawing from?
Well, I knew all these people. And growing up in Houston, Texas, I had a similar experience of needing a place to go just to survive and be me. And when I came to New York, I joined the Harlem Writers Guild with Rosa Guy, Maya Angelou,
Yes. Wow. That's amazing.
Bill Ford, a number of other notable writers. And this was in 1968, after the assassination of Dr. King. And there was a project at Brown University called Finding a People's Ideology. And the two professors, George Houston Bass and Professor Red Jones, teamed with WGBH Boston to conduct a series entitled On Being Black. And the purpose of the series was really to respond to white America's questions about why so many American cities were inflamed and why Black people were so angry. And the scout came to the Harlem Writers Guild and asked for 20 writers to write some plays about the Black experience. And I turned in about 4 or 5 page treatment, and it was accepted. This is in 1968, and then by 1969, it was aired on the National Educational Television, WGBH.
That's incredible. And then it went on to have quite a life, this play. I understand that in one theater alone, it had 800 performances.
This was the Theater de Lys in the West Village, and some days there were 2 showings, and that's how we were able to accumulate so many.
That's incredible. Yes. That's beautiful. And so then you got the opportunity to write the screenplay. And I want to really ask you about that process, because sometimes we see plays and then we see the film, and it's like the film is just filming the play. But this is not that way at all. This breathes and lives as a film. It's so scenic, it's moving pictures. It really is an adaptation. How were you able, with your own work, to give this story what it needed to be a film? What was that process like?
Well, when I was asked to adapt it for the stage, I was comfortable writing for the stage. I wasn't comfortable writing the first form, the first genre of for the teleplay, because I'm accustomed to writing long works.
It's different.
And yes, it's very different. And from a about an hour and a half of writing, I had to cut it back to 57 minutes because television at that time, educational television, could only accommodate 57 minutes of the script, and then the other 3 minutes were for commercials and credits. And so after I cut the play from an hour and a half to back to 57 minutes, I misplaced the cuts. And when I was asked to adapt it for the stage, I had to find a way to restore the cuts. And I just sort of improvised. And I think the play only ran about an hour, maybe an hour and 10 minutes on the stage because I couldn't find all of the cuts that I had taken out for the teleplay. And then Hollywood called and asked if I would adapt it for the screen. And that's when I was able to restore some of the cuts.
And you knew the story so well, I would imagine that wasn't a challenge, that you could breathe now. You could give the story life because you have more space and time to tell it on the screen, on the big screen.
Well, I had more space and more time, but see, this was my first screenplay, so you know, and I'm still writing for the ear, not for the eye. And Ozzy was able to take the work outside.
Yes.
You know, many of the outside scenes were his own creation.
And what was that like working with Ozzy Davis?
Well, you know, I find that in the theater, the playwright has the last word, and that's just a fact. But in film, the director has the last word, and you know, you have to adjust to that. You have to, you know, let the director see the work the way he sees it.
Sure.
And I admitted that I had tried to get the director who directed it for the stage to do the screenplay, to direct the screenplay, but that it doesn't work that way. Hollywood just,
Hollywood, you know, has his own ideas.
Has his own formulas, his own ideas, and so you know, I just learn to go with the flow.
Can I ask you about the restoration itself? I imagine you've seen this restoration a few times now.
Yes, about 3 times now.
Yes, and when you see it, are there still things that surprise you or delight you? Or are you, I was enamored with the colors. Oh, they look so rich and beautiful. And the skin tones. Yes. Everyone's skin tone was just so beautiful and, you know, specific. So when you're watching it now, beautifully restored, what are you thinking? What are you feeling about it?
Well, I'm surprised. You know, I see some surprises, and just remember, it's been about 53 or 54 years since I saw, you know, the first version at the Penthouse Theater in New York, and so the film was lost for a number of years, and we didn't know where it was. No one was talking, and so seeing it on television on Turner Classic Movies, you don't get the sense, and they have to cut it too to fit the television format. But seeing on the big screen for the first time in over 50 years, I too was surprised.
Right, yeah. That must have been quite a moment.
It was a moment. Yes.
Did memories come rushing back?
Yes, some memories came rushing back, and we got invited out to UCLA to see the film, and my daughter and I were able to go to visit some of the sites in LA, in Hollywood, where it was filmed, and you know, that was an experience, because when the original filming was done, I wasn't allowed to go on location to many of the places. I just saw it in the film, so this time I was able to actually visit some of the locations.
So wonderful.
One of this, especially the opening scene where Peggy is running, that's the same site that Orson Welles used for his film, A Touch of Evil.
Oh, really?
So that was quite an experience.
Mm-hmm. And I have this experience where I made this film Naked Acts 30 years ago, mm-hmm. and it got rediscovered, and then it also got a 4K restoration a couple years ago, and I got to experience it with a new audience. Mm-hmm. And I found myself seeing it so differently than I did originally. And it was as though I had a new relationship with it. Mm-hmm. And it was of the moment in a way I had never anticipated. So I was wondering, what's your new relationship with this film?
Well, it's like I'm being reintroduced to it because it was lost for so long. I had gone on to some other works.
Sure.
I sort of forgot about it. I didn't forget that it was out there somewhere, but since I wasn't able to see it, it's like being reintroduced to it. Mm-hmm. And it's seeing it in the restored form with, as you say, the colors, mm-hmm. and the storyline. And I've been in touch with Peggy Pettit, who created the role of Billie Jean in the film. Mm-hmm. And she's telling me that it has done so much for her, mm-hmm. as a young black woman, sure. to have come all the way from St. Louis, Missouri to New York to do the film. Mm-hmm. And so I'm thinking of the film just in terms of what it has been able to do for some of the actors and actresses in the film, not to just see it as, here's a screenplay, and it's for the audiences to watch, but it's also the people in the film, sure. and how it changed their lives.
Mm-hmm. I totally understand that, yes. And also there are the audience members whose lives are affected by seeing this film. Mm-hmm. And I wonder what you think might be the reason. Like, this is a film that's over 50 years old.
Oh, it's over 50.
But I am sure I speak for many in saying that these are images we haven't seen. This is a story I haven't seen before. Okay. I see so much of myself in this story, in a way I usually don't. So what makes work like this endure? What do you think is connecting people still to this day to this story?
Well, maybe some people in the audience can
tell us
what it is that I don't know if there's anyone here who saw it over 50 years ago, but if there's someone here who saw it that long ago, and if there's someone seeing it today for the first time, maybe they could tell us how it resonates with them.
Well, how do you feel about it?
I thought that over the years, our story would have changed a little bit in terms of how we see ourselves as black women. Mm-hmm. But, in view of the fact that we just heard something about Michelle Obama and what she got called, I think that we kind of are at the same place in terms of attitudes that we thought we would cut through over the years, and we're still there. So I think that the human relationships in the middle of the film haven't changed, because a lot of that is universal. Mm-hmm. Sibling rivalry and some of the women in the family having men friends who are spending more than one night, and they're there, and you have to explain to your children what the relationship is, and some of that's still going on. But I think that there are enough elements of the film that are universal, that any generation, no matter how many years pass, I think that many of us can still relate to what we saw in the film.
Right. I think it speaks to very strongly this idea that still, I would say it's still true. Sometimes with Black folks, the idea that you ought to be allowed to pursue your artistic dream is still something that people push back against.
Okay.
We understand why, but that seemed like such a wonderful message that you were pushing forward. And I wondered, was it out of your own experience of having desires to be an artist and having maybe pushback or struggle or wanting more support for that? It seems like a great message to say to folks, you know, that people should be able to do whatever they want with their lives.
Yes, we should be able to do whatever we want with our lives, but let's remember that in the South during that time, the economic reality made your parents sometimes push you to get a job and make some money.
Still true.
And not and not focus on something that they thought you'd get hurt, or something that you wouldn't be able to survive doing. I think that a lot of parents are afraid for their children.
Sure.
And so they try and push them away from their dreams and toward what they call reality. But I always tell young people, never surrender your dream. And no matter how hard it is, and you know, there were times when you know, we doubted our own selves, and so you have to have some kind of force, some people out there who will just say that it's going to be hard, but if you believe in it, it's something that you want, you know, strongly enough, eventually you'll find a way to get it done.
And I think we all kind of understood that mother. We did, right? We wanted her to see her daughter more, but we understood her. I feel like that's what's so beautiful about the story too, that even though you want them to maybe do something differently, you understand why they're doing what they're doing. And I also love too that there often is someone in the community who steps up and says, let me help you.
Right.
And I loved that about the Leslie Uggams character, who was so young. I forgot Leslie Uggams used to be just that young. It was incredible to see that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Leslie started young. She was preteen.
Oh, really?
Yes, when she first started acting.
Yeah. Beautiful performances by everyone. Claudia McNeil, oh, incredible.
Yes.
Yeah. And the Ruby Dee character was also a key character in the play, I'm assuming.
Well, Isa decided that she should not have a speaking role, but she wanted to do the cameo role. You know, because you know, everyone knew who she was, and she really didn't need the credit.
Right. That was
great.
Of,
yes.
Yeah, it really was.
That was a decision that was made. You know,
it's beautiful.
Between the two of them.
I see. Yeah. So should we open it up for questions? Yeah.
My question is, she can accept the other young lady who wasn't her daughter go to college, but she couldn't accept her own children doing something. This is what I couldn't quite comprehend. What made you write that part?
Well, you know, that's the visceral understanding of the dynamics, the mother-daughter dynamics, and you know, sometimes you don't appreciate your own children. They say there's a rose right in your own garden, and you don't see it. And we have to look at the character in the way that character is presented in the context of the story. This was a woman who wanted something for herself, and she didn't see, she just, in the end of, let's remember the last line she says, I thought all my children were going to turn out like me. And I think that that's that in that particular statement, she just was not able to see that she had a rose in her own garden, and just thought it was gonna turn into a cactus maybe, I don't know. She didn't see it. And I think that that happens a lot with parents, that they're not really, they're not looking that closely at their own children. They're not respecting their dreams and their abilities.
I would have personal knowledge of Woody King Jr. For doing the play, and just wanted to know between the play version and what you did as a film, were there any changes that were really significant, or did they try to keep it true to what you wrote for the theater?
I was blessed that I was able to get about 3 or 4 of the same actors from the play into the film, and that doesn't usually happen. Usually, the director and the producers get together and they already have their own list, and they tell the screenwriter, we're doing the casting and we're making the decision. And when I started insisting on some of the actors who were in the stage play, there was I'm not going to say I threatened them, but I was pretty adamant that this actress is presenting the role in the way that I wrote it, and I don't really trust any of these other people that you have in mind. I don't know them. I know these people. They did a good job on the stage, and that's who I have in mind. And so I had to, you do have to bargain and sometimes compromise. Okay, well, you can have this person, that role, you can fill that role. Or you can, I gave them the roles that they could fill, and I said, then you fill those and I'll fill these roles. Mm-hmm. And so there was a kind of a...
So then it was pretty much true.
Pretty much, yes, pretty much that. Okay. Yeah, give me 4 or 5, and then you can have the rest. Because if you look at, well, you have to do it that way, because if you don't, then they'll just take over. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I got the 4 people that I really wanted, and the others were just up for grabs. They can let them have those.
Can you talk a little bit about your writing process and your creative process? Do you start with the characters or the plot, or, yeah? How do you if you can remember how you
for this particular
like
one,
from the idea all the way through the finished screenplay, and how many drafts did you go through, etc.?
Well, for this screenplay, as I said, Scout came from WGBH and just wanted 4 or 5 pages. And when he used the word treatment, I'd never done a treatment before. And I guessed that by treatment you mean sort of like an overview outline of who the characters are and what their problem is and how they're going to resolve it. So in about 4 or 5 pages, I was able to do that. I was able to say, I have a story about a young woman who wants to be a dancer, and her family and her friends are opposing her. And she's got to find a way to find her own voice, and she has to make her own way. She's got to fight all these forces. She has to overcome them. And she might not have very much help in doing it. And that's sort of how I put it on the page. And the next time I saw the scout, he said, well, let me see if you can do what you say you can do. And then I gave him a first draft of the screenplay, and I got a contract. And that's how it. And I did do a few drafts. You know, I'll write until the actors say, I got this character.
I just wanted to tell you that you're so inspiring.
Thank you.
And thank you. I'm from the South. I grew up in Georgia, but my roots are in North Carolina. My grandmother, my great-grandmother, and just seeing these women in this film, the film brought me to tears. I saw my grandmother, I saw my mother, and I saw my big mama, my big granny. And so I just want to thank you because I feel like you brought me home. And growing up in the South is different.
Yes.
Growing up in the South is different.
You
and
bet.
You brought me home. And I'm so glad you found this film. I'm so glad you restored it. And you're such a blessing. So thank you.
You're quite welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
First of all, I saw your film on Turner Classics not too long ago. I think it might have been during Black History Month or something. They were showing a lot of our films.
Oh, yeah, they keep playing it.
Yeah,
Right.
and I was riveted by it because I had not seen that type of storytelling done before. You know, the dynamics, the different characters and their personalities, and you depicted in the sisters that you, and then to find out that may he rest in eternal peace, Woody King Jr. headed that new federal. You know, I'm learning all these things, and Gertrude Jeanette, these are friends of some of us that we've done work with, you know. Who directed the play? I know it was produced by Woody, but who directed the play?
For the stage, Shawneel Perry, who's Lorraine Hansberry's cousin, was an actress and also a children's book writer, and she wanted to direct. And she directed the play.
I'm very impressed. I'm very proud of you, proud to know you. And
Thank you.
I was just blown away, you know, as we all probably were. So kudos to you and a great job, sis, for real.
Thank you.
Well, my name
That's
is
got to
Billy
be Billy
Mitchell.
Okay.
Yes,
Oh, I see you out there now. This
people
light
in
is
Harlem, they gave me a title. They call me Mr.
Mr.
Apollo.
Apollo.
Because I've been there for 60 years. Yeah.
That's something.
So I have a story to share, and I also have a very, very compelling question.
Okay.
My name is Sharon Parker Frazier. I knew Louise Stubbs.
Oh, okay.
I spoke to her son about almost maybe 2 weeks ago about this event.
Oh, okay.
And I said to him, I'm going to the event because, of course, Carolyn and what Real Sisters is a very important organization to me. And I thank Carolyn for having this event. And I told Britt, he's the surviving son. The family is gone. Louise, we lost Louise. She moved to Arizona and retired.
Okay.
They had 3 children, Stephanie and Van. So the entire family is gone except for Britt. He has a son, 2 sons and a wife. He's down in Virginia.
Okay.
Louise was such an inspiration in our community. We lived in the same apartment complex. I grew up with her son, Britt. We were all neighbors in the building. And she told my mother, please bring your children to the theater. And we went to go see, I was a kid at Lincoln Center, What the Wine Cellars Buy. I'll never forget that play. And I was a kid, I was like, wow, my mom said we're gonna go to the theater. So then she gave my mom, here are 2 tickets. Take your kids to go see Alvin Ailey. And she always gave us free tickets for theater, whatever it was, museums, theater, dance. And I went to see Alvin Ailey. And I remember Blues Suite at the city center. And next thing you know, I wanted it to be a dancer. I wanted it to dance. I just loved dance. And I graduated from UCLA as a dance and theater major. And I was so intrigued being at UCLA because there were so many things there on the campus. As a native New Yorker, went to UCLA, loved it. I go back every other year to visit. My question is, when the film was finished, what was the theatrical release? How many theaters, you know, did it get into? Because this was during the Black exploitation films, and this film shows up. This film shows up, so I know it was a disruptive. You disrupted what was Hollywood doing to the Black exploitation movement. No shame to Jim Brown and Fred Williamson and all those, you know, and Coffee, Pam Grier. But what was the film critics? What did the film critics say about this movie? Because I know it had to flip the script in Black Hollywood.
It came out in what, 72?
Yes, 72. It was released
The year of Sounder.
Yeah, it was released here in New York at the Penthouse Theater on Broadway, and it was only released as for that one showing as a benefit for sickle cell anemia, and then after that, it was never distributed.
What?
To this day, the film has never been distributed. But it's
That's
well.
wild.
Good luck with that one. Okay.
I'm an agent. I'm a talent marketing agent now.
I didn't
Okay.
realize that.
All right. Well, we can talk afterwards. We'll talk. Okay.
It never had distribution.
Now that it's been restored, we get invited to festivals here and there. I think it showed in Chicago a couple of times, and it was part of the Sag Harbor Film Festival up in Southampton, and at BAM, at BAM, and in Lincoln Center. And I think that's about it, including this one. It's about 5 or 6 showings. It was shown out at UCLA, of course. It's part of that Restoration Festival. But other than that, it's hasn't been distributed.
After I sat here 5 minutes, I realized I've seen this before because I was channel surfing and I came in on the middle of it. Not quite the middle, but kind of in the beginning. And I sat here and I said, I've seen this movie before, but it was on television, but to see it on the big screen was just so amazing. And if anybody can identify with this story, I can, because my family migrated from Texas, Louisiana, and Texas. A lot of people migrated from the South and went up to the Pacific Northwest, which my family did to work in the shipyards where there was more money. And I always wanted to be in the show business. I wanted to be a singer, a dancer, a movie star, whatever. I wanted to be in the arts, and nobody recognized my talent. And I became a rebel, and I caused so much trouble in my family that you can't even imagine. But I stuck to my guns, and so I could identify with all the family drama in this. It really hit close to home. Okay. But I kept on, and I just kept to my dreams. And like you said, I did not give up, and God put the angels in my life. And I went on to be one of the top models in Europe and traveled all over the world, working for every major designer in the world. So this just truly hit home for me. I'm just so grateful for this movie. It says a lot to me, and it will remain with me for a long time. Thank you so much.
Quite welcome.
I want to thank you for making this movie. I watch movies online, and I don't know if everybody heard of Black Tree TV. I was just wondering whether or not it was on Black Tree TV, because there's so many movies that you can watch on Black Tree TV, and you punch it in, and it just comes up. And I thought maybe this one was on Black Tree TV.
I'm not sure. I find out these things by accident myself. I knew about Turner Classic Movies because my family saw it down in Houston and called and told me about it. But
My grandfather was from Houston, Texas.
Okay.
And my mother was from Lake Charles, Louisiana. And the part where the man the men are playing, and it's like the deacon is really trying to get some respect in the house. It's very much appreciated by me, and I'm sure everybody else. It's not like you were man bashing. So thank you.
First of all, just amazing to watch that film, especially being just a young person growing up in this world and having to combat just everything that's happening. And yeah, just it was really great to watch this and now to hear you speak. And what I'm wondering is, as people say that no work of art is removed from the artist, so I was wondering if you resonate with any one of the characters more than the others, or if there are kind of parts of you that are in each of them.
I get asked that a lot, and of course there are parts of me in every single one of them, otherwise I wouldn't be able to tell their story. I did go away to college. Obviously, I got a PhD now, so I did go. I'm not a dancer. So I'm not a dancer, but I am a writer. So I identify with the artists in Billie Jean. And I'm a mother, so I identify with Rosie and Medea. I'm a grandmother, so I identify with Medea. At the time, these were people who were a part of my life. And I just felt their rhythm and their pain and their hopes and their dreams. And so if you're writing about people, you have to be able to identify with all of them in some kind of way. But you have to ground the story in one particular character and follow that particular character all the way through to the end. And that's a part of my process.
The lady over there asked if it was on Black Tree TV, but it is on YouTube. I just want to let her know. And when it appears on these platforms, do they tell you that it's going to be?
No. I just find out by accident, you know.
So there's no agreement for them to reach out since you are the writer and things of that sort?
No, they don't. You know, when I had an agent before I wrote the play, and that agent died. And then the partner of the agency, that partner moved to Germany. And then I had a publicist who lived in Chicago, and then now she's dead. So everyone, really everyone, who was involved in the legal aspect of getting the play done, or getting the film done, or getting the teleplay, all of those people are no longer here. And you know, looking at who is still alive in the cast, over half of them are dead.
Sure, yeah.
And
Can I
so
just,
Leslie's still alive.
I'm sorry, can I just ask this one question? When the film was done and about to be out in the world, what did they say to you about why it wasn't getting distributed?
My agent told me that the producers wanted it as a tax write-off, as a tax loss, and that.
Wow.
I know. Yeah. And that if he had distributed it, it would have shown a profit for him, and he needed something as a tax write-off, and so that's what they do.
Let's hope
sometimes.
Ossie Davis was not aware of that.
Don't put it out there to make. Cut what out?
No, she was saying that they told, you were just saying they said don't put it out in the world because they wanted it as a tax write-off.
Well, they're dead too, so. Yeah.
And on that note.
So if they hear this, you know, if they hear it from the grave, that's not my But this is what I was told by my agent.
Well, this has been incredible, and we're so grateful to you for taking the time to talk to us about this amazing film. Thank you so much, Dr. Frank.
Great joke.
I'm shy.